That is the St. Regis from 2021. That is the third tallest building in Chicago, and also the tallest building in the world, designed by a woman-led architecture firm. Studio Gang, led by Chicagoland architect Jeannie Gang, designed the St. Regis. Did you know skyscrapers are actually designed to sway in the breeze? It's true, we don't want them to be too rigid, we also don't want them to sway too much. So in this tour, I'll tell you about 3 methods of sway reduction, how we calm down skyscrapers swaying in the breeze. You block some with your hands, you look at the tallest out of those 3 towers. On the 83rd and 84th floor, there's a gap. That's called a blow-through floor. The idea is wind can take a shortcut through that gap, take some of the pressure off the tallest part of the building. That blow-through floor was not actually in the original design for the building. Right around the time they started construction, they did a little more small-scale testing. They realized their calculation was a little off, and they actually needed a little more help with the wind. So they just had to not build floors 83 and 84, which is a huge bummer for the developers because each one of those floors sells for millions of dollars. Notice all the different shades of blue glass in the St. Regis. 6 different shades of blue meant to imitate how the water and the sky can look different under different light conditions. See how the blue glass actually gets darker where the building gets narrower, and lighter where the building gets wider. Look at the edge of the building. See it has kind of a wavy shape to it? It's a very unique shape for a skyscraper. Kind of fits with the aquatic motif they have going on here. It is luxury apartments up above, luxury hotel on the bottom. Like I said, they finished the exterior in 2021, but they had a couple of setbacks due to the pandemic and some ownership changes. So the hotel actually just opened for the first time last month. Rooms start at around $700 a night. If anyone's staying there, let's get in touch. I want to know what it's like in there. The St. Regis, third tallest building in Chicago, tallest building in the world, designed by women architects. And then ahead on the left, see this silvery building sticking out at an angle? We're going to look behind it. In the second row, you'll see a building with wavy white balconies. Aqua Tower from 2009 was designed by Jeannie Gang, same architect that did the St. Regis. The idea is that those wavy white balconies, the second row on your left, imitate eroded limestone outcroppings in the Great Lakes area. You go to Starved Rock State Park a couple hours west of here, you'll see rock formations that look a lot like those balconies. One advantage to having those balconies offset, you can have a conversation with your upstairs neighbor diagonally across those balconies. Then the back row on the left, you'll see a white skyscraper with straight up and down vertical lines. That is the Aon Center, formerly known as Big Stand for Standard Oil. You can just see the top corner of that white building. We'll get a full view of it once we get around this next corner. But I want to tell you the story of the Aon Center because it's got a bit of a troubled past. When it was completed in 1973, that was the tallest building in Chicago. For 1 year. Then they finished the Sears Tower. That was a bummer. Also, they originally covered the outside of the building with rare Italian marble, the same type of marble Michelangelo had used to make the statue of David. They used most of the world's supply of that type of marble, and they were the tallest marble-clad building in the world. That marble could not handle Chicago winters. It started to crack off the building.
It's on
They had to strip it all off and replace it with granite from North Carolina. That process cost half as much as the entire building did in the first place. You get a full view coming up on the left. I can see it now. A white skyscraper in the back row, the stripy lines, is the Aon Center, formerly known as Big Stand. Today it is the 4th tallest building in Chicago, and formerly the tallest marble-clad building in the world. Now, one of my favorites is coming up on the right. Look for a round yellow dome, kind of shaped like an onion. It's the Intercontinental Hotel. Originally built by the Shriners, the guys who wear the Feds hats. They like Middle Eastern themes. They put a dome on top of what was originally their athletic association. My favorite fact about that building, can you see that little stone tower sticking up behind that yellow dome? That was originally intended as a place to dock your blimp. They thought in the future we'd all be taking a rigid airship to work, a Zeppelin. They made a parking spot for blimps. Unfortunately, a blimp has never parked there. Right after they built that, the Hindenburg disaster happened, an infamous blimp explosion, and blimps got a lot less popular. Up ahead on the right, this white clock tower is the Wrigley Building. When it was completed in 1924, that was the tallest building in Chicago. It's a style called Spanish Revival. At that time, the early 1920s, American architects were still trying to figure out their own unique sense of style and beauty, so we're still copying European styles. That white clock tower is modeled after a cathedral in Sevilla, Spain. So it's an office building that's made to look like a cathedral. If you're a baseball fan, you might recognize the name Wrigley. Wrigley Field, where the Chicago Cubs play, is named for the same company. This is originally their offices. They started as a soap and baking powder company, and they did a promotion where they included a free stick of chewing gum. The gum was so popular, they just became a chewing gum company. So this is the original opposites of that Wrigley company. Today there's a Blue Malnati's deep dish pizza joint there, as well as a Ghirardelli if you're looking for some ice cream for Sunday. If you look along the bottom of the Wrigley building, it's actually a darker shade of gray. And as you work your way up that clock tower, there's fewer and fewer dark gray pixels. It gets lighter as you go up. That's intentional. The idea is to draw your eye upwards. The way they did that is the outside of the Wrigley building is actually tiled. See those tiles? It's covered in more than 250,000 enameled terracotta tiles. A couple of advantages there. Gives you that lovely color gradient, getting lighter as you go up, drawing your eye up. Those tiles also make the Wrigley building more fireproof. Fire is unfortunately a big part of Chicago's history. We'll talk more about the fire later on in the tour. One disadvantage to having tiles on the outside is they're too delicate to be power washed, so once a year they have to be scrubbed by hand. Now after this bridge, we're going to take a look at the second tallest building in Chicago today. Straight ahead, this next glass skyscraper is the Trump International Hotel and Tower from 2009. Today, the Trump Tower is the second tallest building in Chicago. You'll see how it has 3 horizontal black strips going across it at places where the building gets narrower. Those are called setbacks, and their height is no coincidence. That first setback is actually the same height as the roof of the Wrigley building. That's 2009, saying hello to 1924. This is a great example of a modern style called contextualism, as in context. Different ways for buildings to flow with the context around them. In this case, the height of each of those 3 setbacks corresponds to the height of a different older building nearby, acknowledging its predecessors. Trump Tower was designed by another Chicago architect, Adrian Smith, also known as the world's tallest architect, because he designed the current tallest building in the world, the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. To help picture the current tallest building in the world, picture 2 of Trump Tower stacked on top of each other. About twice the height of Trump Tower. That's roughly the height of the current tallest building in the world, the Burj Khalifa, designed by the same architect. That's the power of Nico's horn. Don't get in his way, folks. Trump Tower was designed by the same architect who designed the current tallest building in the world, the Burj Khalifa, Adrian Smith, right here in Chicago. It's a nice day out. A lot of boats. A lot of traffic. A little bonus time on the river here. We'll go over on the left. See that stone building with these short towers on the corners? And the central tower with the dome in the middle? That is the Jewelers Building, but it was completed in 1926. That was the tallest building west of New York City.